characters, and they're all wonderful and amazing, and let me introduce you to them. This is Nadji Jeter.
Hello, how y'all doing? Nice to meet y'all, Y'all look amazing, by the way.
You can applause better than that. This is Nadji Jeter. He's here on a Sunday morning. Next to Nadji, we have Alicyn Packard.
Hi. I'm going to use the microphone, because, I'm very good at using microphones.
Forgot about that.
Next to Alicyn, we have Bonnie Gordon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Is it morning still?
Close enough. Next, we have Eric Bauza.
Good morning, dogs. How are you?
And we have Keone Young.
Voice acting,
So usually I like to start this panel off by asking stock questions. So tell us some of the things that people would know you best for, and then I want to hear about a voiceover job you did that would make people's heads explode if they found out it was you. It could be a commercial, it could be a looping job, just anything that would make heads explode. Najee, let's start with you.
Well, I'm from the South. I was going to say ladies first, but so
Ladies.
I mean, if y'all, don't know of me as of right now, but started off with The Last of Us. Y'all a fan of that? Anyone heard about The Last of Us? Yeah. They're on HBO right now, showing it as a TV series. So make sure y'all go see that every Sunday. I played Sam in that one, but that kind of graduated, and now I'm doing Miles Morales. Anyone knows about Miles Morales? Yeah? Okay, we got some Miles fans in here. Okay, nice. But yeah, so that's what I'm known for right now. So we're gonna pass it on.
Alicyn?
Hey guys! So my name is Alicyn Packard. You might know me as Rose in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that just came out. Or a lot of people came by the booth for Jibanyan from Yokai Watch. I voiced Toodles on the Tom and Jerry Show. Sunshine Nutty and Whoops on Mr. Men. There's a lot of different projects, but those are some of the ones that people love, and it's so good to be here, and it's so good to see you all.
Bonnie?
Hello, everyone. My name is Bonnie Gordon. A lot of people know me in the video game world as Ringo Mika in Street Fighter. I'm in Fire Emblem. I also do a lot of singing on the soundtracks of video games and cartoons. I also am in Star Trek Prodigy, for all you Trekkies out there. I'm the voice of the ship computer and a bunch of other things that I will not be able to say yet. But, keep listening, because I got maybe a couple shows coming out soon that are new.
Hello, my name's Eric Bauza. I do a lot of voices, but presently,
Lots for Looney Tunes. I know I should probably not do that to the microphone.
this will now be property of mine because it has my DNA on it. But I've done like a ton of. Yeah, I'm also on Prodigy as a character named Barnus Rex. I love Star Trek as much as I love Star Wars and stuff. One of my earliest jobs, though, was voicing Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe Resolute. But why would I need to? Because I'm sitting next to OG Storm Shadow right here, the original Storm Shadow, the blueprints, Keone Young, who started it all.
But that's not all, folks.
I'll pass it off to Keone.
Hello. Can you hear me? I started in the 60s and 70s, so I've been with the Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee, Kung Fu movies. Recently, Star Wars Rebels, as Commander Sato, Storm Shadow, as I said. Mr. Wu in Deadwood. Buck Bokai in Deep Space Nine. Zhang in Avatar. Chen Stormstout in the World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. Now Sasaki Kojiro in Record of Ragnarok. Many Godzilla movies. Hundreds of stuff. Golden Girls, Different Strokes, Gems, Smurfs, DuckTales. Everything.
IMDb is what I call him. Those are his initials.
And we
Can you
have,
reach
Yeah.
Does it, will it
I'm
reach?
just trying to see if I don't want to pull it out of the. That's as far as it goes.
You have so much cable. Do not
Oh, there we go. Let's just get some slack.
and we have joining us Laura Faye Smith and Brianna Knickerbocker.
Hey.
Give them more applause than that.
We're just introducing yourselves?
Yep,
Okay.
and tell us about some of the things that you do.
I'm Laura Faye Smith. I do the voice of Princess Rosalina for Mario games for Nintendo, and then I also do the voice of Noelle in Genshin Impact, and then I do some TV and film stuff. I played Dieta on Rim, if anyone was a fan of that show. So that's me, Brianna.
Hello, I'm Brianna Knickerbocker. You know me from Rem and ReZero, Lane and Seven Deadly Sins, who tell Genshin Impact now, and Demon Slayer, Sakura, Charlotte, Eston, Minion, Fire Emblem, and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, you guys can hold on to that. We'll share this one.
Now, the next question I like to ask people is, what was your very first voiceover job, and how did it feel to be in the booth for the first time? Nadji?
My first actual voiceover was actually in a theatrical film called Changeling with Angelina Jolie, but I was like 12, so I don't really count that one. But no, stepping in the booth for Last of Us and with Naughty Dog and playing Sam, that was incredible because that was my first game, that was my first mocap experience, and then just being so young and being able to do that, you get to be a big kid again. You just get to be a kid again because it's the whole mocap stage. It's just a playground for you. So Neil Druckmann, thank you, man, love you, bro. But he basically just saw how much energy I had and just kind of just threw me in there, and it's been life changing ever since. Doing Miles kind of prepared me. Doing Sam kind of prepared me to do Miles, just be more active on the stage and be more active in the booth and getting that voice out. So it's all a building process, but you get the hang of it. You get the hang of it.
Give us an idea of what it was like to be in the volume and put on the spandex. And
Oh yeah,
thoughts.
it's an
Recording
experience.
movements.
Oh yeah, it's definitely takes some getting used to. The first day you gotta find your suit, find what fits you, get the dots on you, get round and all that stuff. So it's a whole process, but it's fun. It's fun. Like you said, it's a whole playground. So you're on there. You have boxes and they say this is a car, or this is a house. You know what I mean? So you have to use your imagination. That's where your imagination really kicks in. That kid imagination. So tapping into that, it's like you're kidding. It's fun. It's just pure fun.
Alicyn?
Yeah, so my first job in Los Angeles, actually, I just moved out from my last semester of college, and I got this audition from Craigslist, mind you, and it was for a little video game that was kind of popular at the time called World of Warcraft. And I ended up auditioning just in a booth somewhere and booked the role of the female blood elf. And so that was like my first ever job in a video game, which was amazing because that was the first year I went to Comic-Con and I just witnessed the hordes of fans of World of Warcraft, and it was my very first video game. Yeah.
Did you get to work with Andrea on that for that first?
No, this predated Andrea.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Bonnie?
So my first voiceover gig, I came out here in LA and was cast in a theater show. It was a 1920s radio play that was in front of a live audience with a bunch of voiceover actors you probably never heard about, like Matt Mercer, Taliesin Jaffe, Kyle Aber, riff-raff in the VO realm. No, but they were all in this amazing cast of this radio play, and then me, and they were the ones who suggested, you should get into voiceover. And they were working on a small little indie game. I think Taliesin was associated with it in some way, and someone had dropped out last minute, so he recommended me for it, and that was kind of how I got my start. It was really, really luck of the draw, being in the right place at the right time. I think it was called Demon Gaze. I don't even, it was so, I'm not, it was a game. It was a good game, everybody. You should find it. But I played like 4 or 5 little demons in it, and it was so much fun. And yeah, that was my first role.
Tell us about what your first Star Trek session was like.
Oh dear Lord, it was incredible. I came in first with Star Trek Prodigy to voice Gwen. I was doing all the scratch for Gwen and also doing the scratch for Captain Janeway, which was incredible. And so they just had me doing pretty much any voice they could at the time to give the animators something to work with, because Star Trek Prodigy was recorded all during COVID, so everything was completely shut down and remote. So honestly, the fact that I got to do Kate Mulgrew first, like all of her voiceover first, was a huge honor because I'm a huge Trekkie.
Can we hear Kate Mulgrew real quick?
Sure. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Let's see if I can do it. Hello, I'm Catherine Janeway of the USS Voyager. Tuvok Chakotay, do it. She talks like this, and whenever I see her for lunch or dinner, she goes, I don't sound like that. And I'm like, no, you don't. But they have me do it anyway. So, yeah, she's great. It's just Katharine Hepburn.
Eric?
My first voiceover gig in Canada, in Toronto. Do you guys remember like Microsoft Word? Windows 98, when you had trouble in typing something and Clippy would show up? I wasn't Clippy. This is worse. It was like this Canadian health government website, and they had a duck pop up, and I was like, oh my god.
You were the duck
voiceover, yeah.
Before Gassy, I was
a Canadian government icon for the health website. $50, I think, is what they
I suspect.
And it wasn't a Canadian
free
goose?
Band-Aids. That's what they gave you in Canada for payment. First US gig though, like official like SAG gig, was El Tigre. I did scratch dialogue for Jorge Gutierrez and Sandra Ikiwa, you know, Book of Life and everything. Maya and the Three that they've done for Netflix, but I did scratch dialogue for them. It was my Ricardo Montalban impression, if you are any Fantasy Island fans here. And Nickelodeon was like, who is this person? Why is he here? Is he a serial killer? Can we trust him? And then they asked themselves that question. They're like, let's just get Tom Kenny to do it. You know, try it as they might. They had to cast me for whatever reason. No one else could do what I did. And thank you, Nickelodeon, for allowing me to play in this playground. And of course to Jorge and Sandra. They've been nothing but kind and generous. So find yourselves a Jorge and Sandra, okay? If you guys are trying to get into voiceover, that's it.
Keone?
Well, back in the days, I started first with Walla groups. Walla groups is, I don't know what they call it now, but loop groups. But I started with guys like Robin Williams, Phil Hartman, when they just came to Hollywood and started doing Walla. And if you don't know what Walla is the sound that they don't record and that they add in later, like they record a stadium or party scene, you know. They're just mime it, and then we go into the studio and then record the background sound. And I started there, but one of my first jobs, and I kind of want to bring this up because it's really interesting, you might find this interesting. I started, NPR gave us some money. I was working with a theater group, and our artistic director was a man named Mako, who you might know. And so he directed us in 6 short stories for NPR. They were Japanese stories, translated into English, classical stories. And Mako was the director. So voice acting is not just cartoons or anything. You know, it's a lot of different things. It's loop groups, it's books, audio, and so that was one of my first jobs. We recorded for NPR. And Mako, if you know, later, who I worked with for many, many years, then I was starting to do anime, and I said, Mako, do you want to get into animation? And what's that? And I said, well, you have a really interesting voice. And I said, you could make a lot of money. And he says, well, okay, I'll try it. And then he became Uncle Iroh of Avatar, and he became Aku of Samurai Jack, and he's been one of the leading. He's passed away since, but it was fortunate that I was working with him in that little thing for NPR, and then we got to jump all the way. So you see, voice acting has these leaps. You know, you start start off, like Eric said, he started off in this little thing, and now he's doing, major characters. So voice is not just one thing. It's not just a hit thing. It's not just anime. It's a lot of things. The field is really broad.
What was it like to watch Mako do his work?
What was it like?
Yeah.
Well, he was my mentor, so I grew up with him. So he was a brilliant actor. I've seen him. He was nominated for Academy Award in Sand Pebbles. He was nominated for a Tony on Broadway. So I understudied him in many, many roles. He was, I think, one of the finest American actors there is. I can say that, and other actors will say that too, who's ever worked with him. But you will know him as Uncle Iroh, which I thought, he brought a lot of great character, and when he sings that song, in Avatar, that has a lot of meaning for us, because I remember him singing that song to his own children. And that's what we were. We were a theater of, he taught us, his thing was, acting is really not a science. There's not 1 + 1 is 2. It's 1 + 1 is 2.5 or 3. And he was always working on the abstract. And so he did a lot of things that was just, was not just logical, but abstract. And he brought a lot of great stuff to the field.
Laura.
My first voiceover was wildly unglamorous. I, lived in Portland, Oregon, and that's a commercial town for the most part. Like, there are very little, when people think about voiceover and they ask about getting into it, they're not looking to get into the type of stuff I did when I started, which was the first thing I did was like an industrial training video for Kroger for their deli section. And I remember being, it was so glamorous, and I remember saying things like, that chicken looks really fresh. Like, it was like lines like that, and I remember the director was like, could you make your voice sound less caressy? It sounds like you're like sexy for the chicken. And I was like, oh shoot, no, that chicken looks really fresh. So that was like kind of the first stuff that I did, because that was what I had opportunity to do. Like, a lot of the really things people think about, like a cartoon, animation, video game, very, very hard to come by there. Those auditions were few and far between. So, like, the first animation type of thing I did was the Mario games. Those recorded in Seattle. So they cast a lot from the Portland and Seattle area. So I will say, if you're living in an area that doesn't have as much industry as you have like here in LA, those could be your first jobs, but it was still good training. I did lots and lots of commercial work, and a lot of times you're a character. Like, I can't tell you how many exasperated wives I've played, where it's like me and a guy playing the husband, and he's just an idiot, and I'm just like, oh, Stan, how come you never get it right? Like that kind of stuff. So that was my start, my unglamorous start, but it was a start.
Brianna?
My very, very, very first voiceover job was equally, I'm loud, it's okay. Was equally unglamorous. There's like another field in voiceover called explainer videos, where companies can kind of put together these online videos to explain what their business does. So I actually did just this one little set of explainer videos. But then my first video game was Mother of Myth. It was a mobile game. It was based around the Greek gods and stuff. And I booked the lead. It was really exciting. And I remember going in and there was a binder and just thousands and thousands of loops. And I was like, well, this is terrifying. Great. And then my first anime was A Lull in the Sea. If you have not seen that, highly, highly recommend it. It's like a Ghibli movie. It's stunning.
What was it like working with Tony and Wendy on that show?
Amazing. Tony is known or renowned as being the anime dad for everybody, and he's just, oh my god, he's such a safe space, and I really look up to Wendy, so it was really fun working with her as well.
Good. Now, we've talked a lot about voiceover, and as you can see, everyone's path is a little different. There's no two paths are the same. So how would you like to see these guys do some voiceover and do a little bit of cold reading? You're supposed to be more excited. I know it's only 11:30, but...
Yeah, me neither.
This is great.
Bonnie talked about doing a 1920s radio play, so we're going to do a 1930s radio play today. We're going to do episode 1 of Flash Gordon.
Oh, Flash Gordon?
Yep.
This is exciting.
And I have scripts to pass along to everyone.
Brought to you by Kroger. Sexy for the chicken.
Sexy chicken.
Bauza has done the script with me before. He will be playing something a little different this time around.
Okay.
But the role of our announcer will be played by Keone Young.
Okay. Announcer.
Next, we have Flash Gordon, who will be played by Nadji. Next, we have Dale Arden, who will be played by Alicyn Packard. And we have our evil Emperor Ming, who will be played by Eric Bauza. Bauza, can you fill in as the announcer too?
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next we have Brianna Knickerbocker, who will be playing Zarkov, our scientist. And we have Princess Aura, who will be played by Bonnie Gordon.
I'm a princess.
And finally we
Typecast again.
And finally we have some double casting with Prince Boone of the Lionmen and our slave, who will be played by Laura Faye Smith. Give you a little bit of time to read over the script, and whenever you're ready, Bauza, you have the first line. So,
You guys all set?
Let's just go in. We don't even need to read it. Let's just
and
go.
if you're not doing anything, do sound effects.
All right.
Presenting for the first time on radio, the amazing and interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon and Dale Arden. Up and Under music. These thrilling adventures come to you as depicted each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure, and Kroger's Sexy Chicken. The Comic Weekly, now printed in 32 tabloid-sized pages, each page in full colors, full 4 colors, is distributed everywhere as part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper.
Flash on, savior of the universe.
Racing through high above the earth, comfortably seated at a giant airliner, Flash Gordon, internationally famous athlete, looks admiringly across the aisle of Dale Arden, the lovely young companion, as his air voyage. The minds of both are intent on the terrible destruction, which for many months has been approaching the Earth with terrific speed. The new planet hurtling through space directly in the path of Earth. Suddenly, there's a violent jar. The plane goes down, then siren. The plane lurches into a spinning nosedive. Flash Gordon's trained muscles carry him across the aisle to the frightened girl to gather her in her arms and then leap free from the falling plane above. And pulling the ripcord of his parachute, glides to Earth. Siren out. Flash?
Don't be afraid, Dale. The plane has crashed. We're safe.
Yes, thanks to you.
How fast? We're landing now. How fast are we landing now? Careful. Easy. You all right, Dale?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, look, Flash! There's a large steel door! It's closing!
Why? That's a laboratory of the greatest scientist, Dr. Haynes. He's coming this way. I'll call him to help us. I'll hope you pardon us for breaking in on you unceremoniously, Doctor. But you see, we had to bail out.
I see you for what you are, spies. Come to steal my secrets, but I bet got the answer for that. Come with me.
Put that gun away, Professor. The man is mad, Dale. We'll have to humor him. All right, Professor. All right, we'll come with you.
Get down this ladder, into this tower. Down, I tell you.
All right, all right.
There now. We're in my rocket ship, and in 10 seconds we will be on our way to the new planet. We will all die. Die for science!
Sound effects. Turns wheel, the door crank, shut, rockets, take off.
Oh, Flash, the doctor is mad. This rocket ship is breaking away from the Earth with the speed of light, right into the path of a new planet. Oh, no!
We skipped a page!
I warped into the future!
Or do you not have that page? You don't have that page.
Page 1.
Yeah.
Page 4.
Oh, yours
So-
is different.
So I have a different script.
No. You got page 4 and 5 mixed up. Here's your 4.
Oh, I'm in the future.
I'm back to the future.
Maybe reversed.
Oh, Flash, that doctor is mad. This rocket ship is breaking away from the Earth, and it is causing a gap in the space-time continuum. Is it page 3? Is it page 4? We don't know.
I have page 4.
I don't believe in pages. Great.
Okay. Hold tight, Dale. We'll escape somewhere.
To the new planet! Woohoo! Yeah! The new planet, we three will save the Earth.
Doctor, there's still time to swing your rocket ship out of the path of the new planet.
No!
What will you gain for science if we're all killed in the crash?
Oh, I know who you are, Flash Gordon, the world's greatest athlete, but your trained strength will not save you. Only my mind. The mind of Zarkov, the scientist, can save you. Can save any human soul upon the Earth.
The turbo drive. She's reaching for the controls.
Stand aside, Doctor.
Haha, feel it. The gravitational pull of the new planet will crash in 5 seconds.
Now I turn back to 5.
Currently on page 5, the rocket ship hits the planet. Dr. Zarkov and Dale are thrown from the rocket ship unconscious. Flash is thrown clear of the wreckage and lands to his feet, injured. He rushes to the side of the unconscious girl, picks her up, and starts to carry her towards the distant towers of a city that is this weird new planet. Suddenly, strange soldiers armed with ray guns appear, and capturing Dale and Flash, force them to come to the throne of Ming the Merciless, Emperor of Mongo and Supreme Ruler of the Universe.
Now, indulgent Ming, the most merciless majesty of Mongo, supreme ruler of all the peoples of the new planet, thy slave, salute thee.
Good, that's great. Ming, the Merciless, you know, I'm the best at being evil. I shall want the Earth and it's all of its people to vote for me.
Thy slaves obey, O Ming the Merciless.
Get your hands off me! I am no slave. I'll meet your emperor as a free man and an equal.
So, Earthman, you are free. You're a free man and my equal. As if that were even true. I don't even believe it for a second. You know, it's rigged. I think it might be rigged. Throw him to the Red Monkey Man in the arena. You know, I would be forced to make these free men as my equal.
There is thy freedom, Earthman. Now you go into the arena to meet the Red Monkey Man of Mongold.
No!
Monkey.
Don't worry, dear. Emperor Ming, I will show you that I, a free man from the Earth, are more than a match for your brainless Red Monkey Man.
By the way, that's President Ming. Thank you. Flash reaches the bottom step leading to the arena. He leaps and swings at the nearest Red Monkey Man, then grasping the fallen man-beast under the armpit, Flash whirls him around in a flail, knocking the others into all directions. President Emperor Ming, fearing that his Red Monkey Man will all be killed, orders his soldiers to suddenly destroy Flash with their ray guns. In the midst of the confusion, Princess Aura, the beautiful young daughter of President Emperor Ming, calls to Flash.
Quick, brave Earthman, this way. Here, to my balcony.
Flash keeps the royal balcony, leaps to the royal balcony and to the gorgeously jeweled princess who commands the slaves to keep back while she takes Flash through a secret door to the passage leading into a private elevator. The two get in, and Aura closes the door and presses the switch.
Who are you, beautiful maiden?
I am Princess Aura, the only daughter of Ming the Merciless. I'm adopted.
Princess, I owe you my life.
You are brave and handsome and strong. You must not end so young. I have never seen anyone like you, Earthman.
Where I come from, Princess, there are many strong men and better looking. But, tell me, Princess, where are you taking me?
Wouldn't you like to know? I'm taking you to the private landing frame of my own rocket car. There you will be safe. And my rocket man. We have arrived, Earthman. Get in this rocket car. No one can harm you in here.
But, Princess, I don't...
Hey, grab him.
That was a guard. Hurry! Hurry!
But, Princess Aura, how am I to rescue the Earth Girl? Dale? Arden?
That is why you are in my private rocket car, Earthman.
Why? What do you mean?
Dale Arden can never be rescued by you.
But, Princess,
And as for you, Earthmen, you shall love me or die. I have daddy issues.
Meanwhile, back in the palace, President Emperor Ming is talking to Dale Arden. You know, Dale, your companion Flash Gordon has escaped, but not for long. My men, my many, many men, will soon capture him. Believe me, it's gonna happen.
What is it that you're going to do with me, President Emperor Ming? Are you going to make me wear that hat?
What? Oh, yeah, no. You know, you're very pleasing to me, Earthwoman. Very, very pleasing. You know, I would rate you a 6, maybe a 7. Horrible things coming out of my mouth this morning on a Sunday, the Lord's Day. You will become my wife, one of many, many wives.
Never! I don't love you. I don't even like you.
I've heard that line before. Trust me, it's not going to work. I'm very relentless. I'm never going to give up. We men of the Mongo have no human traits, okay? I barely have any human traits. I'm awful. No love, no mercy, no kindness. This is the new slogan for my campaign. Whether you love me or not makes no difference, you see, because that's just who I am. You shall become my wife. It's going to be ringed. Trust me, as soon as the ceremony can be arranged, that's just how it works.
Your Majesty, look into the spacograph. Our city is being bombarded by the space heroes of the Lion Men.
The Lion Men? Oh, I love that movie. Disney's finest movie. Trust me, I know Disney movies.
It's the circle of life, Your Majesty.
I love circles of rice. Is that what you... I'm sorry. Order the entire space fleet of Space Force, trademark, I made that up, to the attack. Music. In the terrific battle which takes place between President Emperor Ming's space fleet and the heroes of the Lion Men, the attacking heroes are driven off. The rocket ship in which Flash Gordon has been held captive is destroyed, and Flash is thrown into the ground, unconscious. He opens his eyes to find himself staring into the great bearded face of Thune, Prince of the Lion Men. Thune lets his great sword fall as he sees Flash Gordon's white skin.
Who art thou, white skin to you? Speak! Answer me before I cleave the white body into pieces! Art thou in kind of center of Ming the Merciless?
I am the sworn enemy of that vain emperor, Ming of Mungo. He has captured a girl who is from the earth like myself. I live to only rescue her.
An earthman, you sayest? An enemy of Ming the Merciless?
That's right. Tell me, are you friend or are you enemy?
I am Thune, the Prince of the Lion Men, hereditary enemies of the men of Mongo. If you would accept me as thy friend, Earthman, I would gladly join thee against Ming the Merciless.
Yeah, here's my hand on it then. Prince Thun?
Good. What is thy name, Earthman?
I am called Flash Gordon upon the earth, Your Highness.
Call me Thune, friend, and I will call thee Flash.
Friend Thune, do you know how we can gain the adamants to the palace, that we may rescue Dale Arden?
Come. I will show thee a secret way to the palace.
Good.
The Emperor Ming is away pursuing my hero fleet. We may be able to rescue the Earth Girl before the Ming's return.
Flash Gordon and his powerful newfound friend go first into the space gyro of Prince Thune, and there they gaze intently into the thought projector, in which they not only see Dale Arden captain, but they also have revealed him a secret way leading into the throne room of the palace.
The palace.
The secret passage is known as Thune of Terror because of the deadly beasts which lie within its gloomy walls. Fighting each step of the way, Flash and his new friend, Prince Thune, finally find themselves within the palace. A door with great steel bolts stand before them.
Quick, Thun! This door must lead directly to the center of the palace.
From my memory of the place, I should say that beyond this door is the great throne room of the Emperor Ming.
All right then, here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
bro?
Yes, this great statue before us is the god of death, which stands at the top of the altar steps directly behind the throne of the emperor.
Listen, Dun, what is that?
By the great oh, it's the royal wedding procession! Ming the Merciless is taking another bride! Yeah. Blah, 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 long live the Ming the Merciless! Ah!
Long live Ming the Merciless.
Long live Ming the Merciless. Long live Ming the Merciless. Long live Manny. Am I the only slave here?
Yeah, I'm on strike. I'm gonna unionize. Hey guys. I didn't get invited to this wedding.
He's coming up the altar steps. Done. I'm going to look around the idol.
To look around the idol means death. Thou must not. Come back! Come back!
Done. Save yourself. I'm going to the rescue of my friend Dale Arden. She's being forced into marriage with Ming the Merciless.
Prince Thorn of the Lion Man does not save himself at the expense of his friends. If thou must die, I will die fighting with thee.
Dale! This way, Dale.
Stop them! What are you doing, you morons? After them!
This way, Dale.
Down this passage, Earthling, the fastest thou canst run. Quick, you, quick.
They're swarming up the altar steps. Help me topple the idol over them now. 1, 2, 3.
I'll never be married.
With a grinding crash, the giant idol topples over onto the onrushing soldiers of Ming the Merciless, killing those in the front and throwing into the confusion of the whole company. Flash Gordon and Prince Dune, with Dale between them, dash into the secret passage beneath the idol. The way becomes sleeper. Sleeper. I need glasses. They slip and fall down 100 feet or more into a whirling underground river. They're swept along down a raging current and over falls into a lake. With the powerful strokes of a champion swimmer, Flash sets out for the shore, towing Dale by the hair. Ouch. They reach the shore, and as Flash reaches down to drag Dale to safety, we hear her scream. She screams and disappears beneath the calm surface of the lake. Clutched into the powerful green, scaly arms, with no thought of his own safety, Flash dives to Dale's rescue. Water sounds, and finds an adventure stranger than any which has gone before. Music, thunder. Following the thrilling adventures of Flash Gordon and Dale Arden each Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. You will find them graphically portrayed in full color pictures in the Comic Weekly, brought to you by Kroger's Sexy Chicken. Only in the Comic Weekly can you find coupons for Kroger's Sexy Chicken and the escapades of kids, those perennial rascals, or thrill to the adventures of King of the Royal Mounted, brought to you by Kroger's Canadian Chicken. Just half as sexy as American chicken. Check the conversion rates. Only in
But
the
twice as polite.
Twice as polite with free health care. Only in the Comic Weekly you can enjoy the good, clean fun of Bringing Up Father, starring President Ming the Merciless. It's a great show, trust me. I fully funded it. I'm back on Twitter. Tilly the Toiler, way out west. The Little King, or in the language of his hillbilly friends. Those clean cantawampus over the bodacious goings-on of Barney Google before Google. Your old friend Skippy and all of his pals are waiting for you in the Comic Weekly, brought to you by Kroger's Sexy Chicken, along with Pinky, Molly, and Pat in their great adventure story, Radio Patrol. And there is Ace Drummond, the Demon Aviator. What ideas did they have back in the day? Johnny Around the World, and many, many others. Kroger's Sexy Chicken has sponsored these shows. Be sure you get this big 32-page all-color Comic Weekly supplement with your copy of next Sunday's Hearst newspaper. And don't fail to listen again next week to the continuation of the amazingly interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon and Dale Arden.
That's all, folks.
Yeah! By the way, this came out in 1935. I wanted y'all to know that. We were reading 1935 script.
So this is a dream, right? That never happened. Just
Right,
this
right.
entire fever dream of Flash Gordon, 1935.
That's ridiculous.
What were they doing?
Hope y'all enjoyed that.
Did you guys enjoy that? That just gives you a taste of what these people can do and why they're so good at it. And I just have to ask, how much of voice acting, when you guys get scripts, how often do you get them in advance, or do you get them cold?
Usually never, depending on the project.
I get them, but I never read them.
Star Trek I get in advance, but any video game or anime, it's usually right in session.
And I remember they used to be sent, and now because, I mean, you guys, the internet changed the world. Like, in terms of people, social media, people putting things out.
Privacy.
Yeah, like people don't, I mean, I lived in Portland, and you go audition for Portlandia. Did anyone ever watch that show?
Oh, absolutely.
You never had the actual script because it kept getting out, so they just always gave you a fake. They couldn't. Like, you signed an NDA that said you couldn't even tell people you were auditioning, and then you never had the real script, so you never knew what anything was. But once social media hit, privacy was a whole new ballgame.
And most of the time with auditions, you don't even know what you're auditioning for. They're under code names. So you just go in, audition, and then you find out later that you book, something Street Fighter, but it's Project Thunder. And you're like, wow, Project Thunder. I should have known the name Zangief. Should have tipped me off a bit of what project it was.
And since we only have 3 minutes left, and I'm sure there are some people in the audience who would like to do voiceover, what are some words of wisdom and advice that you can impart onto people?
Acting first, voices later. Like, a lot of people think just doing funny voices is the key to getting in. It might be, but the key to staying in the room is good acting. Because if you don't care for any of the characters that you're watching, then it just kind of falls apart. So concentrate on acting first.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And be aware of your surroundings. If he's jogging, if your character is jogging, or movements, physicality, because that voice is gonna resonate to that voice for that character. So
I also would say, do you? Like, people don't always know what they want, but they'll know when they hear it. So sometimes people will be like, I'm working really hard on trying to be like the next Charles Martinet or whatever, but it's like, but yeah, that's his job right now, so they're not looking for that. You do you, be the next thing, and bring yourself to the table. I think people get excited by something they weren't expecting. I was just going to say, you can really let your passion drive you too. I think everybody that's in this room right now shares the passion and love of animation, video games, pop culture. So there'll be times where you need to continue to go back to that well to fuel yourself up over the years. So continue to solidify your love of it and get in your 10,000 hours honing your craft and do it whenever you can.
I always suggest people to also, even if you have no musical talent whatsoever, take some singing lessons because it helps you learn the tone of your voice, helps you with knowing what kind of pitches you can do, your range, and also teaches you how to breathe properly, how to scream properly. And also check out iwannabeavoiceactor.com. D. Bradley Baker has made a website that has a wealth of information for you that we don't even have to tell you anything.
Also want to add to that Alicyn Packard actually has a wonderful podcast too with tons of information. Tell us a little bit about that real quick to send us on out.
Yeah, so I have a podcast called Alicyn's Wonderland where I interview people that work in animation and video games. A lot of voice actors, because that's who I know, but also show creators, editors, writers, sound engineers. So you can learn about all the different facets of what we do in video games and animation. The behind the scenes, how we make things, and how people have built their careers. So you can check it out. It's on YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's Alicyn with a C and a Y. Thanks, Jeff.
No problem, and that's a good note to end the panel on. So join me in thanking Nadji Jeter, Alicyn Packard, Bonnie Gordon, Eric Bauza, Laura Faye Smith, and Brianna Knickerbocker in joining us for this Pasadena Comic-Con voiceover panel. Oh. We'll take one quick question. Oh, I'm sorry, Bri.
No, what everybody else said. I was just going to say we're all going to be signing, so if you want to stop by and say hi to us, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
We're all going to be going to our booths right now.
Yes.
Come to our booths. We want to see y'all there. We gotta go. Thank you.